Hey friends and neighbors, today we're going to look at JQuery UI and the dialog. And if you look up JQuery UI dialog, you get this. And I'm going to go through it and explain why you might want to use it and how to change some of the settings. It's not terribly difficult. The first thing I did was, you can go to my site if you'd like and go to open source and download website template 0.2, and I have everything included. You'll have to drop this in a directory that runs PHP. So if you're in WAMP, you might have it under C drive, WAMP, www, and you should be able to do that. And what I have is this. I just cleared everything out. And up in my folder, it's just called site template. I have this. I open up my index file, which is where we'll be working, and I opened up public.js custom.js. So let's go ahead and do that. Custom.js. I got it right here. And basically this is a document on ready, the shorthand version. And I'll go back to the site template, open index.php, and we have all our includes set up so that I don't waste all your time. So I can go ahead and close that. And what we want to do is first show you a regular confirmation. In JavaScript, you can say confirm, and let's just say mommy. I saved, and I'll refresh, and we get this. And this looks different on different browsers. This alert box on the Mac OS X, I believe it comes in from the top. And if you want a custom UI dialog, we would use jQuery UI to make that a lot easier. And what we first do is we have to make something inside the box. So let's make a div down here. I'm going to call this div ID as box. Okay, and whatever we put in here is going to show up in our dialog. I'll say, hey mommy, do you want milk? Okay, and for the jQuery, I'll say ID of box dot dialog and refresh, and it says, hey mommy, do you want milk? And we have the same thing basically we had here. What I'm going to do is go through some of these options, and they're pretty cool what you can do. Oops, let me shrink some of these down. On this list there's just a ton of stuff, and to do options it's very, very easy. We have to pass an object in here, and remember in JavaScript an object is just these curly brackets, and objects have parameters like name, Jesse, and they end with commas. Dog, yes. That's an object. And basically we're passing something like this into the dialog. So I'll just paste that in here. Now obviously these don't really apply to the dialog, so we'll go ahead and make one. And you could go through here manually and look through these options if you want. I'll just do a couple that I find useful. They show you how to do it. It's terribly simple. So how about title? And I'll say mommy milk. We can set the width, and I'll just say 500. Don't put px after it. This isn't CSS. Height of, let's say, 200. And remember, always end it with a comma. And one thing you're going to have to remember is, if I just stopped with it like this, your last item should not have a comma, because it'll cause problems in Internet Explorer. That's one you got to remember. So I'll refresh, and it says, hey mommy, do you want milk? And here's the title up here. Now our regular confirm had two buttons, and what we're going to do is create buttons. Now this one's a little more tricky. I believe this is under, oh, it's right under buttons, and it says buttons array, and an array in JavaScript has these square brackets. So remember, var array equals 1, 2, 3, so that we can have multiple buttons. And we're going to apply that same principle to the buttons. So first we give it a property called buttons, and then we create an array. And inside this array, it's an array of objects. That's where it gets a little confusing. Okay, so we have our array, and now we have objects separated by commas. I'm only going to have two buttons, so I'm going to do it like that. And for the button text of the first one, I'll say text equals okay. Oops. wrong quote. For the second one, I'll say text equals nay, save, and refresh, and I have OK and nay. They don't do anything at the moment. And what you can do is click, so that when this button's clicked, we create a function. And try to keep your brackets tabbed over, because this could get very confusing if these are on the same line. Mercy. And I'll say, I don't know, alert, you said OK. And for this one, we want to close the box. So I'll say click, function, and we do this dot dialog close. And this refers to the object we're in, which is this dialog. So refresh, and it looks like I made an error. I'm not supposed to, well, where did I make my error? Let me see, function, this dialog dot close. What has happened? Aha, I see, I forgot a comma here. Okay, so sorry about that. Refresh, and here it is. OK, you said OK, nay, and it closes it. What else we can do are some more preferences, like let's say modal is true, and a modal window, you know what this is. Once I refresh it, you see this background here. It makes things look pretty sweet. Nay. Another property we could do resizable is false. Refresh, and now they can't resize it with that little icon down in the corner. We can also turn draggable off, so draggable will be false, and now they can't really get out of here. They're forced to either say nay, close, or press OK. There's callback events in here, events, and things like drag start when they focus or open. I'm just going to do one so that you can see what it does. If I did drag start, we'd do a function. Don't forget your comma. And in the function, we have to pass the event and the UI. So I'll say alert, you are dragging me. And there's the obvious problem. We have draggable false, so we have to disable that. Refresh, and I drag, you are dragging me. There we go. And I'm not sure what that could be used for, but whatever. So what if we want this to only come up, like say, if someone were to log in, if this were to be a login form? What we could do is just do an input type equals text. I'm just going to make this real short. Oops. Submit. Just a regular input form in HTML, and name, pass, and submit. Hey mom, do you want to log in? So if we were to do a login form like this and refresh, my height's a little low, sorry, I'll fix that. We could have it so that this is a login form, but we'd want a login button to click, and I'll show you how to do that. First of all, I'm going to change the height 1 second. Height will be, I guess, 500. And let's make a link. Ahref goes to nowhere. ID equals login. And we'll say login. Okay. And we have to bind an event to the login ID. So I'm going to say ID of login dot click function. Okay. And just to test it, let's just say alert 1. And I'm actually going to cut all this because this is going to get in the way. Control X or edit cut so that we can reuse it. Refresh and login, it says 1. Okay. And rather than alert 1, we can paste all our stuff in here. And you see these tabs are unequal. I'm going to select all this and tab it over just once more, because tabs are very important. So I'll refresh, login, and it gives me this. Okay. Now the problem you might see if I refresh, this is still here. And what you want to do with that is, for the box, we could do style equals display none, refresh, login, and there it is. and you could have a specialized login box. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you found this useful, give me a thumbs up and I'll feel really special. Just kidding. Bye.